Hey guys, Noah here, and I just like to say thank you very much. I really do mean that, thank you, because this is the first anniversary of when I started making videos on this YouTube channel. And how far have we gotten since then? Well, it's been a year, and we've gotten 700 subs. More than 700. That's wild to me. We've had two videos past the 10,000 view threshold. We have multiple videos that have passed the 1,000 view threshold. That's real good. And I have some plans to take this channel even further, And I can't wait to share them with you. And here I am going to do that in this update video. So it's been a bit difficult lately, mainly because I had some tech failures starting around late Christmas time, like late December. My laptop basically, like, the display stopped working and it had to be sent into the repair shop, and a bunch of stuff got erased, and I ended up losing a bunch of data and, a bunch of other shit, and it set me back a lot. And I had to use a loaner laptop where I could barely do anything, by the way, for about a month. Now, this was despite me having massive plans for the start of 2025, and that just got completely curtailed. What I did manage to do was do the read aloud of the first 5 chapters of the third draft of my book, The Jonathan Crisis Rise of the Renegades. I did manage to do that, thankfully. It was like the one thing I was very adamant on still doing, because I didn't really lose anything and I could still record. So, and I have my laptop back now, by the way. It's just, I don't have all the files on it, unfortunately, and it has set me back a bit considerably. Now, regardless, yeah, I managed to do the read aloud, and I also managed to do, I guess the thing with Tridentainment, which is like my little production house studio thing. Doesn't really have any attention. Um, I managed to bring in Everett and possibly start the rebrand into Acronym Entertainment. If you guys want to know what that means, go over to Tridentainment and look at the community posts, and there you go. But that's really all I was able to do. This is despite me wanting to finally get done that Transformers 1 video I've been planning for like months and has been in the works for months. This is despite me working on a Succession video because I fucked up and I ended up losing that file too, so I have to re-edit it. Although it should be out in like 10-ish days, depending on my motivation. Maybe a bit later than that. It should be out by the end of the month though. And the Transformers 1 video should be out sometime in March. I think those are like solid promises I can make. Um, so besides that, a couple things I want to go over. Um, Unfortunately, in regards to Chronicles of the Blade, which was the Technoblade inspired webcomic and then later like full on animated like film production I was planning to do, I have to announce with a heavy heart that that is indefinitely postponed because in recent times I just haven't had motivation to work on it, and there's also been some internal issues. One of the people who was on the production team, and I'm not going to name names because I know this person must have had like valid reason, just kind of like disappeared from the group and like basically vanished off the internet for a while. I don't know if they came back, but we lost someone very promising on the production team, and after that, motivation kind of spiraled. I got really busy, and I realized this is such a massive undertaking. I don't think I can do it unless I know for a fact I have the resources for it. So it's not canceled per se, because it could still happen in the future, but I will not commit to doing it now. Well, I don't think I have the resources. I just don't think it's a good idea. I mean, as much as I really love the idea of making it, and as much as I still feel so passionate about the idea of like a Technoblade story, I think I was wrong to assume I was ready to do it. I just don't have the resources. I don't have the motivation. I cannot run a team. I've learned that in the last several months. I'm not trying to insult myself here, but I just fundamentally don't have the resources or the energy to run a team right now. It's such a complicated production process, and I mean, let this be a warning. Well, not a warning per se, but like caution. If you want to do like a production of your own, you really have to be careful about that because you might thrust yourself into a world you're not prepared for. This is not anyone's specific fault, per se. It's just I'm inexperienced. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought this would be a lot more doable than it actually was. Turns out it's not. So, TLDW, I suppose. Um, Chronicles of the Blade is indefinitely postponed, which means it's still on the table for the future, but I need to get into a position where I'm actually comfortable and able to make it. So, with that being said, that's basically all you need to know on Chronicles of the Blade. As for the general content moving forward, I am pushing back the other parts of my Songs of War analysis. Originally, I wanted part 2 on March 28. That's no longer doable, I think, with my schedule. I just don't think I'll have the motivation or the free time to get it done by then. Part 2 can instead come out on June 14, 2025. I think that's doable. It was originally going to be part 3, but I can push part 3 to December 4 of this year because Mont27P released a possible uncancellation announcement of Songs of War on December 4, 2024, like right after part 1 of my analysis. So now I get a new anniversary date to honor, and it's perfect. I can still do anniversary dates on all 3 of the release dates, and that's perfect for me. That fulfills my autism 100%. So I'm going to be pushing those videos back just to make sure I have the room to like comfortably develop and make them. So I hope you guys understand. Now, as for other content moving forward, I seek to do a lot more with the Jonathan Crisis. I'm currently working on lore for the Jonathan Crisis as me and my co-writers prepare to get into writing for some of the books after Rise of the Renegades, because Rise of the Renegades is fairly disconnected in that like it can stand on its own, whereas like a lot of the books are like the books after like really go into the territory of like they get involved with the core story that we're planning. It's a bit hard to explain, but the point is, yeah, you know we're thinking of at some point getting around to starting work on those other books, or at least the outlines for them. And I'm currently trying to put together some lore. And I'm thinking of, with permission from my co writers, sharing whatever lore is possible with you guys, making some videos about world building for Abathon, which is the world of the Jonathan Crisis. I'd love to share all that stuff. I think it could maybe drum up some hype. Who knows? All I know is I am hyped, and isn't that what really matters? I mean, it's fulfilling. It's art. So yeah, expect that. I might also have a video about Percy Jackson coming out on the 20th anniversary of the Lightning Thief, the book. And I might delve into, let's say, how the two adaptations of that book kind of like square off against each other. As in the movie versus the TV show. The movie is a pretty bad movie in my opinion, although it is kind of fun in some ways. The show is I mean, as much as it pains me to say, the show is kind of low-key mid. Like, I enjoyed it, but it is just not that good as a piece of media. And it's also severely hampered by like a variety of issues. I think Friendly Space Ninja really delves into it in a way that I think is accurate. Although I wouldn't go as far as him on some points, but regardless, yeah, I want to make a video comparing those two adaptations and the merits and demerits of both, because I think that would be an interesting little deep dive. But besides that, besides the Succession video, besides the Transformers 1 video, I might do a couple like ranking videos of all the shows or movies I watched in 2024. Those could be fun little, palate cleansers. Um, so yeah, maybe a bit more political stuff. I don't know. I don't get into politics that much on these channels. I do sometimes. It's just I prefer to come at politics through the lens of media analysis and other stuff I'm passionate about, because I think raw, unfiltered politics can turn a lot of people off, but people are more receptive to it when it's like kind of wrapped up in other stuff they enjoy, and I feel the same way. I think raw politics is very interesting for sure, but also exhausting, especially with who is the president of the United States right now and all that other stuff going on. I mean, it's a lot of shit. And you know, yeah, I think I think that's basically where we're at. With that being said, thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.